Hello, and welcome to The Angry Sniper, episode number 84. Although for me it feels like 100. I've done so many takes of this, you just would not believe. I think I'm having a bit of an off day, to be honest. It's been one of those days. Anyway, I'm grouped with a couple of guild mates in this one. Grimmy on his tank, Powertech tank, and Ghidorah on his operative healing. There is another tank in the group, not on my guild. I don't know him, and that's Zabrak on the left-hand side on the ops bar. There is a healer as well, so we got. I couldn't tell you which one that is though. So we got 2 healers and 2 tanks on this team. We are against. I think it's a double pre-made. This particular guild, which I can't see for the moment because the screen is minimised-ish for me. And take a seat. So they have a tank and healer as well. And there are some fun elements to this. For example, I like that. It's a bit of fun. We both killed each other, so both got solo kills. I just happen to like it. It's my sense of humour. So yeah, I have been doing an awful lot of lobby stuff. I've really hit my evolution characters hard the last week or so. And it has meant, to be honest, I have done a lot less level 65 PvP that I had meant to. I meant to... my evolution stuff, when I did it, because this is the second time I've done an evolution vid, it's a very odd process, the way I have to do it, especially as I'm doing 3 characters, not just the one. But I have to do some war zones. I then have to watch those war zones and edit out the bits, see if I've got the clips which I happen to like. Before I'm happy to actually level up to the next level. And I could have a space of 7 war zones, of which I've done, and then I've said, okay, I need to stop now. I need to double check what I've done. I might go through just one war zone and oh, that felt good. I feel as if I might have a couple of clips here, but I need to double check. Because if that's the case, I don't care if I level. I have to be so careful about leveling. So the whole way I do that means it makes it difficult to group up. Just because of the way I do it. But I find it works for me when doing that, you know. So apologies to my guildies the fact I haven't grouped with you much the last week. I had meant to. I've just got really caught up in my evolution stuff. This particular war zone is... I enjoyed it, grouping it with my guildmates, and I enjoyed the beginning of it. But it's this part of the war zone which I just don't enjoy. I don't like it. And that's because we've got so many healers and tanks in the game. In this particular war zone, that it just turns into a slugfest, and it just means killing anybody is a white royal pain in the ass. Now, yes, we do have an advantage. I'm finding this frustrating playing, but it must be even more frustrating for the opposition because we out tank and out heal them. You know, they've got more DPS than us, so you know that's the trade-off, I guess. But their healer is a good one, and they've got a tank as well who does a good job, to be fair. It's as a sniper playing this, I mean, one of the problems for me when I do lobby, and this is still on topic, I haven't switched what I've been saying. I've done so much lobby stuff lately. that my brain gets used to not having certain skills. So when I jump from lobby back to level 65, it takes me a fair few games to actually get my brain to click into okay, I have actually got these skills, so I can actually use them. You know, I don't have to wait a few levels. So, and at that point, it tends to, I feel right again. I feel like I'm playing like I know I can play at level 65. Does that make sense? So, when I'm jumping from lobby to 65, and I then find myself in this sort of game, I find it so frustrating. It's frustrating to play anyway, but it's just compounded, you know. It's just the way the dice rolled, I suppose, you know. It's but I do wish Bioware would tie up and do something. Yes, we all know sort killers are a problem. I know people say, well, see, it's not sort killers are fine, it's a DPS that's a problem. Well, in my experience, the people who turn around and say that, yes, there might be some DPS people who aren't doing the most. And yes, I know I'm in this particular Warzone, I don't have a great deal of AoE. I don't do much AoE in this one. But in my experience, even when I have done full-blown AoE, it doesn't make a dent, it doesn't make a difference. Engineering and even virulence. Yes, we can both shell out great bits of damage in such war zones if I was that kind of way inclined to just chase numbers. I was in an arena a couple of weeks ago, and a big in Japan dude turned around and said, I can't remember quite what was said, but he inclined that I didn't even break the 2k DPS barrier, which I didn't. Well, yeah. So what? I do a ton of AoE damage. It's not going to make a blind bit of difference. There are a lot of situations. As engineering, we have got a lot of skills we can put to a lot of good use, and it is fun. And you won't find another spec quite like it. But our AoE stuff is not all about damage. The damage our AoE stuff does is not really, oh my god, that is an absolute shit ton of AoE, and it's had a major, fantastic impact on this particular part of the Warzone. It doesn't do that. Our damage is split between single target and AoE and dots. That is the way we work. So yes, we could break the 2 DPS barrier, but it's a bit like virulence. Before you get cold, it is very easy to do a million damage, but you'll not have any impact whatsoever. You know, it's insane. And it's the same thing with engineering with slugfests. Marksman is the spec for slugfests, or for arenas where no one is dying. It's just one great big slugfest, you know. So for me, when I come across the situations where it's just a slugfest, I just don't find it fun. I just don't. There's so much I could criticise, and I think one of the problems I've had difficulty in putting this commentary together is because I'm having a bit of an off day, I think. And when I think about it, there are a fair few criticisms I could say about this game. I love my spec, I love the class, I still enjoy the war zones, but the balance in the PvP is just not there. If you nerfed sort killers, like, if you get the elitist idiots, if you take them out of the equation, because they're just hopeless. Elitist idiots haven't got a clue how to do any balance at all. And I'll stick to that point to my dying days. If if you take sort of healers out of the equation, say they get nerfed, great. Operative healers would take over, and they would be the ones. Operative healers can still churn out a lot of kills and make a dramatic impact. I don't think they're that far off with sort healers, in all honesty. Merc healers, I don't know. There's not that many around, but healing in general is too overpowered at the moment. It really is. It needs to change. And it just... I am not very inclined to think that BioWare thinks, oh, they don't care about PvP, they don't care about the PvP forums, they don't care about balance. I actually believe that they do. They're just not that good at doing it. And they're not that good at showing that they care. I mean, how much more time do they need? How much time... I would love for them to turn around. Take, for example, the Smash spec. Back in the day. Those of us who were around will remember the Smash days. It went on for close to 8 months, quite possibly a year. I can't remember. I'm picking up... It was a long time that Smash spec was out, and a lot of people turned around and said, well, there's nothing wrong with it. No, sorry, it was overpowered, and you pretty well knew it. It's the same thing with healing. But it took so long for them to sort it all out. And it's like, why? How much time do they need? Something isn't right, because it shouldn't take that amount of time. It really shouldn't. I'd love to sit down with him and just ask him a few questions about it. I really would. It's just to get a bit more of an understanding as to their process and why it takes so long. The game's been out 4 years now, and they've had to endure a lot of criticism over balance. And I can understand why. Because there is a lot of imbalance in the game. For example, snipers and dot classes, and yes, to a certain extent, not so much, but virulence, the sniper spec. It is so frustrating to have a Sork Madness spec, or Sork an Assassin Madness. I can't remember the Hatred and Madness, I think it is now, isn't it? And an Operative Lethality spec, and all the other specs, to just dot you up and then kind of line of sight to you. And that's all they do. Because they know damn well that you've got to move, but they've got much more... this is why I hesitate on virulence a bit, but the other dot specs, I've got so much more mobility than us. It's so frustrating to play against. That's just one example. It doesn't take a great bit of skill to just line of sight. Line of sight. But anyway, I'm going to stop there because otherwise this is a dangerous thing. Hope you enjoyed it. Watching it, not necessarily listening to me. Take care, keep sniping, and I'll see you again. See you. I'm going to go and take a chill pill. See ya.